Hello, my name's Teresa, and today we're going to be talking about Daft Punk's evolution and influence of electronic music. Let's get started.
All ends with beginnings. What keeps the planet spinning? The force from the beginning.
Daft Punk is an electronic music duo known for their complex electronic compositions and multiple music hits. The French band is made of members Guy Manuel de Christou and Thomas Bangalter. The two began making music together in high school, playing in the same band. In 1993, they disbanded and became a duo focused in on electronic music, calling themselves Daft Punk. The band quickly gained popularity in the underground electronic music scene and signed to a record label. Over the years, Daft Punk would go on to make many albums, popularize electronic dance music, and influence others to create music using similar production techniques. Daft Punk released their first album, Homework, in 1993. The album pushed them into stardom within their genre and elevated their inspiration for music. As the duo became more known, they began doing interviews, and both Guy Manuel and Thomas decided that they didn't want to show their faces in photo shoots. So they put bags over the head for interviews, ultimately concealing their identity and creating more of a mystery around the music. These face coverings turned into robot heads upon the release of the band's sophomore album, becoming a permanent part of the Daft Punk image. In 2001, Daft Punk's second album, Discovery, was released and came with many incredibly catchy songs that are still played today. The duo was well known for their use of unique samples and synth sounds, which were prominently shown throughout this album. They would often build and manipulate samples to create a completely different use for the sound. For example, their popular single One More Time features small clips from More Spell on You by Eddie Johns to create an entirely new melody. From listening to the song separately, it is very difficult to recognize the clips sampled, which is exactly what Daft Punk excelled in. We will now listen to a little bit of One More Time by Daft Punk. Enjoy!
One more time. One more time.
The duo used samplers, synthesizers, and vocoders to make their music concise and unique. Discovery was inspired by disco and funk music from the 70s and 80s. Although the group maintained an electronic music sound, they decided to use older synthesizers like the EMU SP1200 and drum machines like Oberheim DMX to create a cohesive, nostalgic aesthetic. As Daft Punk was making moves in electronic dance music, the band became more popular. People enjoyed listening to their music at parties or raves, which eventually shifted into radio play and large tours. The band put a lot of thought into making their music, and were constantly looking for different ways to express themselves visually. While making the Discovery album, the duo began brainstorming for video ideas that would coincide with the music, and instead decided that they wanted to make a movie featuring each track of the album. The anime film Interstellar 5555, The Story of the Secret Star System, was released in 2003, highlighting every song on Discovery. This was not the only time the band took extreme efforts to create a universe or ambience around their music. In 2006, the band performed at California music festival Coachella and built an entire LED sequence to correspond with their set. The show made a large impact on the performance industry, pushing the standards for artists, and leading to a visual production structure that many musicians tour with today. In 2008, the duo was approached by Disney to aid in the soundtrack for a fictional action film called Tron Legacy. This was the first film the band scored, which introduced them into working alongside new composers, musicians, and companies. The group worked to create a balance between electronic and orchestral sounds to suit each scene. This is where they learned new string instrument technique and production structure to create definition. The soundtrack took a total of 2 years to complete. After this, the band went on to make their music more collaborative, partnering with many producers and artists. Their fourth album, Random Access Memories, featured many well-known artists such as Pharrell Williams, Nile Rodgers, and Julian Casablancas. The album was very commercially successful, breaking streaming records with the single Get Lucky featuring Pharrell Williams, which you might have heard at the beginning of this podcast. And they won the Album of the Year at the Grammy Awards. Throughout their career, Daft Punk has left a large impression on the electronic music scene. Many young producers strive to be as successful as the band, working towards their own unique sound. Popular artists like Skrillex and Kanye West have praised the band for their musical technique and compositions, expressing that the duo has inspired them in their own music making. Daft Punk has also been featured and sampled on many songs, ultimately creating samples of multiple layers. For example, Kanye West used the melody of Daft Punk's Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger on his song Stronger, which was originally used in Cola Bottle Baby by Edwin Birdsong. Stronger went on to become one of Kanye West's most popular songs. So here is a little bit of Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger by Daft Punk, which might sound a little bit familiar to you.
Faster, stronger.
The underground electronic music scene in France also has been permanently influenced by the band's success and continues to pay tribute to Daft Punk's impact through various remixes and sampling. The band's legacy continues to be discussed today, from their sampling technique to their synthesizer production skill. In February 2021, the duo released a video on their YouTube channel titled Epilogue, signifying that Daft Punk had disbanded. The group has remained anonymous for over 20 years, inspiring other artists in the community to wear face coverings to protect their identity. They ultimately were able to revolutionize the genre of electronic dance music outside of the rave and party scene, inspiring new waves of radio-friendly electronic music. In conclusion, Daft Punk was able to break through the music scene and create a universe beyond their own music. The duo experienced a lot of success throughout their career and managed to bring more attention and recognition to the French electronic music scene. Thank you so much for listening. My name's Teresa, and today we're heading out with Around the World by Daft Punk.